We're back and coming to you this week from La Paz, Bolivia, where we've been looking at the United States' controversial role in Latin America. As U.S.-backed economic policies meet fierce resistance across the continent, America's free trading partners are a shrinking club. The latest to join is Peru, which signed a free trade deal with the United States last year, but where more than half the population lives in poverty. That kind of economic hardship has driven thousands of Peruvians to seek a better life in the United States. And now, a Peruvian-born rapper in Harlem is speaking out about his situation in song. His name is Immortal Technique.
Immortal Technique.
And here is his story in his words.
You know what it is. Immortal Technique. My name is Immortal Technique, a revolutionary artist.
I'm from where the golden diamonds are ripped from the earth.
I was born in Hospital Militar de Lima, in South America, in Peru. And I moved to Harlem when I was very young, and I've lived in this community ever since.
They said that the success of my music was theoretic, but my revenge is sweet enough to murder diabetics.
During the 70s and 80s, there was an influx of violence and a practical civil war that existed in Latin America based on two polarizing forces.
Blacker than back in the days of the tar and feathering, a cancerous endocrine, the eagle-ass American.
Authoritarian military dictatorships that were set up by the USA and communist insurgencies that were funded by Russia, or whether they were aided by China, or whether they were just peasant struggles.
Percussion thumping like the Russian mafia over ya.
So my father sees this violence, and he sees the rampant inflation that exists, the collapsing economy, and he decides that it's time to leave.
Lock and load your gun where I'm from, the third world, son, to many places.
Go to the so-called developing world, the third world, whatever people want to call it. The only way that we could be successful to the eyes of superpowers is if we privatize everything, you know? We'll sell you the water, we'll sell you the communications, the transportation industry, our diamond, our oil. Everything that we have is now owned by you. And when people do things for you like that, they don't just control your resource, they control you as an individual.
When I speak about Harlem, I speak to the world. The little Afghan boy and the Bosnian girl, the African of Sudan, the people of Kurdistan, the third world American, indigenous men, Palestinians, Washington Heights Dominicans, displaced New Orleans citizens, beachfront Brazilian favelas that you living in. The hood is prime real estate, they want back in again.
I think if democracy in the minds of American people is voting once every 4 years, then we're really You could vote 1,000,000 times and still not be represented. There's a movie about a slave called Kunta Kinte, where they say, no, your name's not Kunta Kinte, it's Toby, and they whip him till he says, no, my name's Toby. Barack Obama, the press puts him through these horrible Toby moments where he has to deny his own people, where he has to reject Pastor Jeremiah Wright.
But even they know what it's like when you fighting for Svoboda, whether Slavic or Islamic, Baka, gin tonic, drunken fantasies are cool, son, but here's the grim logic.
John McCain is the only Republican to not come out and publicly denounce the Latin American immigrants in America. He understands that Latinos are very machista, you know what I mean? They can appreciate a war hero. Latino people have fought for this country for years and years and years and years. World War I. World War II, Vietnam. There's a whole shitload of us in Iraq right now.
Half a war over, I bring it home colder than dead soldiers.
A Latino president? Sure. I think there'll be one. I think it'd be interesting to see how his Toby moment works out. I want to be there for that. I hope I'm still alive, you know what I mean?
Immortal Technique, Harlem, New York, you know what it is.
Here in Bolivia, the Aymara Indians, who make up about a third of the country's population, have a tradition of putting on red ponchos when they go on war footing. Today, there's still a group called the Ponchos Rojos. They're fiercely loyal to President Evo Morales, and they say they're ready to fight against any attempt to divide the country. Eugenio Rojas is the leader of the group. Here's his take on the situation today in Bolivia.
My name is Eugenio Rojas. I come from Achacachi on the outskirts of La Paz. The poncho is used to make important decisions, whether they're civic or whether they're personal. It can be worn as an act of protest or to help solve people's problems. It's a symbol that means you're a step above the rest. Why red? We don't really know why. It's always been red. For me, red means authority.
Al presidente lo insultan un indio ignorante.
In some places they call us ignorant. In Sucre, for example, they call us llamas, which is a huge insult for us. They consider us animals. They say we can't read, we can't write, we can't understand. It's as if they're a dominant race, the stronger race, the ones born to rule where we're born to be their slaves. They have created the pain in this country. And now they want to create their own country based on racism, based on elitism.
Como élites dominantes, ¿no? Nosotros hemos hablado.
We've been talking about building a new Bolivia, where everyone has rights, Indian, not Indian. There wouldn't be any difference. We won the election. We now have Evo as our president.
No nos pueden tildar.
We can't allow Bolivia to be divided. This country's resources belong to all of us. We'll use our own tactics and we'll never get tired.
El cerco igual.
The Americans have always intervened in this part of the world. They have a lot of experience supporting military regimes. Right now, I don't think they have a lot of leverage to tell us what to do. Their authority has been undermined. So it's not their place to say anything about what's happening in Santa Cruz. But there's so much wealth there. Where does it come from? It comes with the support of the United States. If the US wants to collaborate to help the poverty situation here or to stop the drug trade without condition, that's fine, so long as there aren't any conditions.
That's all the time we have for this week's edition of Inside USA from La Paz, Bolivia. Until next time, so long.